Hello and welcome back to all 633 of you amazing consumers of Pax Dei content and the nearly 60% of you who have not yet chosen to hit that subscribe button. I'm Eltari, the professional gamer, and this is another Pax Friday review, the show where we talk about all of the fun, interesting, new, and exciting information that has dropped for Pax Dei over the last week. This week is a very exciting one. We are getting very close to the end of the year, and the one thing that we are holding very near and dear to our hearts is the promise from Mainframe that we will be in a Pax Dei Alpha before the end of 2023. Well, the last time I checked, the calendar now says November, which means we are in the second to last month of the year, and lo and behold, when we looked at the Fri-Dei dev post that we always get with some fresh new screenshots, which we'll also be going over in a little bit, there was a drop that there is going to be a very, very important leak coming out next week. That being said, I believe we are coming up on a potential alpha release date announcement or some gameplay or something that is meant to be very exciting. And the list is getting thinner and thinner as we only have approximately 7 more Fridays to have announcements before we're at the end of the year. One of these has to be an alpha announcement, and I don't want to build up too much hype, but I am looking forward to whatever new information Mainframe has to share with us about Pax Dei. That being said, today we have a lot of screenshots to go over. We had some new stuff dropped with a couple of new mobs on Halloween, as well as our normal Friday screenshot drop showing a lot more new cities. We also got a couple more leaks of screenshots with some really good shots of some cities. So that being said, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video if it's the type of content that you like, and share with any of your friends who might be interested in Pax Dei. Let's go ahead and get into all of the screenshots. All right, so first things first, we're going to be going through the screenshots that were dropped on Samhain or Halloween night or Reformation Day, depending on who you ask. And we got some spooky images. It looks like we also have a new mob that we haven't seen before. They look like a mixture between Casper, the friendly ghost, and one of the ring wraiths without any robes. So that's a little terrifying. But here you can see in this first image, we have our nicely armored character running away from what looks to be something described as a horde of ghost men that are walking towards the player. That is quite terrifying. It is at nighttime, and they need to get a torch. Let's be real, they need to get a torch. Next screenshot here, we can see that all of these new ghosts are holding on to some swords, it looks like, and they are definitely walking towards something. And then here we have just another shot of these ghost men as they're making their march across the woods. Then here we actually see something that we've seen in some of the gameplay trailers. So it looks to me like these are some of the will-o'-the-wisps or the will-o'-wisps as we have seen before. There was actually a blog post or something like that a while back that was talking about will-o'-wisps and how they might lead you to particular areas, and where they may guide you is unknown. Then here we got a close-up of one of the ghost men. You can see again that he is holding a sword, as well as is very difficult to see up close. You can just barely see them in an outline. Next, we have the appearance of Pumpkin Man and Spooky. They look like twins. Another shot of them identifying the fact that they are indeed twins. Now they're staring at each other menacingly. And it looks like Spooky is coming after Pumpkin Man with an axe. So kind of a funny set of pictures there. Next up, we are going to be going into some of the leaks that were posted this Friday. This is a very cool screenshot of a mountain city, it looks like. Right here, we can see some really large, almost like a bowl or something like that. Maybe it's a theater of some sort. And we've got a couple of towers here. This looks almost like it is a light tower. We see that there is this emblem here as well. I think we've seen a similar emblem to this in one of the screenshots from another one of the cities that are built. So maybe that's being made by the same players that made it previously. We still don't know what that symbol means though. And we just got a lot of different housing structures there. I really like how this one's coming off of the side of the mountain. That's really cool. Then here we have what looks to be another city. This one seems to be like it's being built either on a lake or a really big river, but we can see that there is a lot of building that is going on. It looks like we have a very large castle-like structure that is right here, as well as a couple of smaller buildings, but a lot of just genuinely huge buildings that players have been creating. And then this might be maybe a light tower of some sort looking over the lake or the river. But really cool to see all of these different structures. And it's nice that there's some variation. We had a mountain city, and then we had more of a forested city, a city in the middle of a forest. And then here we have, yet again, another city. Now, this one looks like it's in a different area because these trees definitely aren't pine trees like the previous shot. We have a really cool shot of what looks to be a rogue running across the rooftops of this other city. Now, here is another shot of a will-o'-the-wisp or will-o'-wisp. And looks like they've brought the player to a Stonehenge. So I wonder if that is something that's important, or maybe this is just an odd rock formation. Who knows? And then we also got a screenshot of a bunch of players going out on a raid, it looks like. And also something worthy of note is in the back, looks like there's some kind of magic or a cloud of gas or something like that emanating from this player. I think we saw another screenshot similar to that previously. Yes, this is looking even more familiar. It looks like these players are preparing some sort of sacrifice or something like that we've seen in one of our previous videos, which you should totally check out. Then here we have what looks to be a giant pile of bodies. That is truly horrifying. But you can see all the different hands and looks like bodies that are stretched out over this. And then it's not a PAX Friday review unless we have a couple of scenic shots to be taken a look at as well. Here is a screenshot of another city. This one's built along a river, and it is just really awesome to see how this stuff is lighting up at night. You've got the sun setting, just barely hitting the clouds at dusk. And to finish off all of the leaked screenshots, we have a Cthulhu monster of sorts. It looks like there was some distortion going on here. And then on to our actual screenshot drop that we got for this week. And again, we're getting capes, which I love. I love how capes look in PAX Dei. I definitely am going to have to craft myself one of these at some point. But it looks like this is another screenshot from the large city development that was in last week's episode. It looks a little bit more developed now. We've got some more buildings up in the surrounding area. We've got an image of this player in their cape. Now, an interesting thing that we do see here as well is it looks like we've got an anchor on a pedestal. So that's actually a pretty cool little design there as well. Then we have another dusk screenshot here with all of the lights bringing light to this city. Looks like a lot of players are congregating in this area, and now it almost looks like if this might be an inn or possibly a tavern of sorts, but the players standing out in front of it. And then we got our flower pots. Flowers are definitely important, and it's important to make sure you're tending and watering your flowers. So that's what it looks like this player's doing. And then we are sitting out enjoying our campfire. out in what looks to be, okay, so we haven't seen something like this before. And we can see that there are flowers and some pots here, but this almost looks like a beehive. You've got the little top right there, as well as what looks to be the place where you pull the wax out. I'm not a beekeeper, so I don't know the technical terms. But this does almost look like a beehive, so this might be a confirmed new crafting style resource gathering structure that players have built. We haven't seen something like that before, so that's pretty cool. And then this looks like inside of an inn or possibly a tavern. You've got all these different types of bags. You've got, I like the stag antler chandeliers that the players have put throughout this building. It looks really cool. And then we have just a nice screenshot of a sunset looking out into the forest, getting ready to chop down some trees possibly. And then to end things off, this is so reminiscent. If this character right here just had a tree sitting in the background and they were reading a book, I would half expect Gandalf to be coming down this road in his little wagon, and they're about to start the adventure of a lifetime. But a very cool way to end this screenshot section. So that is all that we have for screenshots this week. We went through so many different screenshots today, and it's really cool to see all of the creations that players are actually making. And I can't wait to actually get in and start building some of this with all of you. So we know that next week is going to have some big leak. It's either going to be really big gameplay that we're going to see for the first time, or it's going to be possibly an alpha date announcement, or it's going to be something entirely different. I have absolutely no idea. That being said, let me know down in the comments below what you think is going to be happening next week. What is the leak that Mainframe is alluding to? I'm very excited to figure it out, and I'm sure all of you are too. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video if it's the type of content that you like, and share with any of your friends who might be interested in Pax Dei. Until next week, I'm Altari, the Professional Gamer.